The squat is possibly the most useful and functional exercise out there. Today, I want to share a 30-day plan that you can use to improve your leg strength, endurance, and mobility. So over the last 10 years, I've done a lot of squatting, from barbell variations to then moving into body weight, more challenging single leg variations. But the focus has always been on intensity, either more weight on the bar or a harder variation. But over the last few months, I took on a new experiment, and that was to do the basic two-leg bodyweight squat. Now, I'll be honest, in the past, I thought this was too basic for me. But what I found is that I was overlooking a huge component of fitness, and that's building a bigger base of strength capacity with the basics. So the results have been this. I've had more endurance for things like walking, hiking, and running. I've actually been quite surprised how much more pep in my step I've had on longer hikes. It's easier to access the deep squat position. It's simple. If you spend more time in a position, your body will allow you to go there easier. And this has made my ankles, knees, and hips feel really good. And lastly, less overall fatigue. The bodyweight squat is not very demanding on your system, so you can do it more often and still be fresh for other activities. And if you're anything like me, it's been ingrained into you that leg day means you should be walking out of the gym with wobbly legs and sore for the next 3 days. But for those of us that value feeling good and being active every day, it's a poor mindset. Seeking more strength with less fatigue allows us to be more useful in everyday life. So what are the negatives to this style of training? Well, you're not going to have bodybuilder legs. You need more resistance for that. And you might not be able to lift a car up just from doing bodyweight squats. But assuming that those aren't your goals, let's dive into this plan. So you're going to pick a number of squats that just starts to fatigue you on the last rep or two. Because your legs support you all day long, they're already fairly strong. So this number should be higher than, say, your pull-ups. Maybe 10, 15, 20, even 30. For me, I landed on 20 reps, being comfortable, but just causing the slightest fatigue at rep 20. Now choose a number of days per week to do your squats. I'd recommend 3, but if you have a strong base, you can do 4. If you're a true beginner, you might even just do 2. Now begin with just 2 sets of your squats per day on the first week. This should be very easy and almost feel like not enough. Now each week you'll add an additional set per day. So for me, week 1, I did 2 sets of 20 reps, 3 days per week. Now by week 4, I was doing 5 sets of 20 reps, 3 days per week. So I went from a total of 120 reps on that first week to 300 reps on week 4. Your body loves it when you gradually increase the volume over time. And once again, you shouldn't be getting too sore or causing too much fatigue because of this gradual ramp up. Now here's where we get even more out of these squats. At the end of each set, I want you to stand up, you can kind of shake out your legs for a sec, and then sit back down into the bottom of your squat position for at least a minute. The best time to establish your deep squat position is when your legs are already warmed up from doing squats. So this is a good way to use our strength sessions to also increase our mobility. So personally for me, I've also enjoyed raising up on my toes between each squat. This allows me to work my calves, obviously, but it also allows the calves to release more and let me get deeper into my squat position at the bottom. So seek a range of motion that's as deep as possible for you. Trying to get your thigh to touch your calf is a good goal to shoot for. And if you're having trouble getting this range of motion, elevate your heels. Elevating your heels will allow you to get deeper, and it also shifts more weight into your toes, which puts more stress on the quads. For me personally, even though I don't need much assistance in my range of motion, I still do about half of my sets with my heels raised in order to drive more quad pump. So after 30 days, assess how you feel. By now you should have doubled the amount of squats you're doing per week and test if your range of motion has increased. Feel free to repeat this 30-day cycle with using a higher rep count. So if you did it with 20, you can do it again with 25 or even 30. So for me personally, I've been traveling for the last 2 months, and this has been really efficient for me with no equipment and having a little bit less time for training. Have any of you guys experimented with using the oh so simple bodyweight squat? Comment below, I'd love to hear what your results are like. And if you have any questions about this 30-day squat plan, pop them below and I'll do my best to give you an answer. Hit that like button, subscribe for videos every Friday, and as always,